Okay, so in this program we're going to look at a different style of loop. We've already talked about the for loop, and now we're going to start talking about the while loop. Again, it does the same thing. It accomplishes repetition in a program. So here I've just written a simple program that's going to print pink and red hearts. And I'm using a while loop to do that. So let's take a look at the code. Before we look at the loop itself, let's review the essentials of counter-controlled repetition. You start with your counter variable, okay, and give it an initial value. You have some kind of condition or relational expression that's going to evaluate to true or false to determine whether or not the loop is going to keep going, and an increment expression, okay. So all of that is the same. The thing with the while loop, it's not as beginner-friendly as the for loop. I think with the for loop, we noticed that all of those essentials were contained in the syntax of the loop header. That's not the case with the while loop. So with the while loop, there's more responsibility on your shoulders to get all of these essentials in place because they're not part of the basic syntax, as we saw with the for loop. So here I'm creating a counter variable. We'll just call it counter. I'm going to initialize it to 1. And then I'm going to dive into my loop. Now, this program, we're going to fill the screen with 5,000 hearts, but since I'm printing 2 hearts at a time, a pink and a red, I'm only going to loop 2,500 times, so that'll give me 5,000 hearts. So in any case, my relational expression, the condition, which is going to evaluate to true or false, is while counter is less than or equal to 2,500, do this, okay? And so, you know, your condition, and this was the case with the for loop also, your condition evaluates to true or false. Every time you get a true, you get another repetition or iteration of the loop, okay? Eventually, this is going to become false once counter gets up to 2501 in this case. And once you get a false, then that's it. The loop finally ends. So that's essential number 2, which is the relational expression or the loop condition. And then don't forget essential 3, which is the increment. That's very easy to forget, actually. So let's see what happens if I do forget the increment. I've commented that out. I'm going to run the program. Okay, so here's the program running. There are all the hearts. I have way more than 5,000 hearts at this point. That flickering and flashing, it just keeps running more and more hearts. I've created an infinite loop. And think about what's happening here. You can just end the program. You will probably do this. I still do it myself after coding for many years. Like I said, it's easy to forget that increment when you have the while loop. And so in any case, if I don't increment counter is just always going to be 1. 1 is always going to be less than or equal to 2,500, and so you're just always going to get a true every single time. It's never going to change, and then the loop just keeps running and running and running. So that's it.